Tonight on CTV News at 6. The snow is falling.
We're getting a high volume of snow in addition to high winds, and it's affecting a large area of our region.
Timmins and area are getting hit by a winter storm. Reduce impaired driving everywhere.
In Sudbury, unfortunately, we have about on an average of one impaired driver arrested per day. That's kind of our average. That's daytime or nighttime.
If you get behind the wheel, you won't be the only one on the road. And more help from the federal government.
We must protect our workers and our industries who are most exposed to U.S. tariffs.
The Liberal government announces new support for steel and lumber industries.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday. Anishinaabe police seized more than $100,000 in illicit drugs at a First Nations airport. There was a disturbance at the Attawapiskat Community Airport last week. Police located a woman trespassing and arrested her. She was found to be in possession of methamphetamine pills and crystal meth valued at $110,000. The 30-year-old woman now faces 2 trafficking charges. Another delay in the sentencing hearing for a woman charged in the stabbing of a neighbor in Chelmsford a year ago. The aggravated assault case of 34-year-old Jessie Brave was back before a judge in Sudbury today to have sentencing submissions. She's charged in connection to the stabbing of a neighbor last November. The 31-year-old female victim was left paralyzed. Justice Mark Hornblower admitted to only getting the case earlier this week, adding he did not have all the files required to proceed. The case has been delayed twice since August, first for a mental health assessment and then for court administration issues. It could be January before the case is back before the judge. Sudbury's Sophia Mather is among 7 young environmentalists from Ontario who have taken the province to court. They argue that the government's weakening of its climate targets violates Canadians' charter rights. CTV's Lindsay Alick has an update on the case.
Just days before a critical hearing on December 1st, the applicants are condemning the Ford government for forcing through legislative changes.
Disappointingly, although perhaps not surprisingly, the Ford government has yet again chosen to pull out all the stops to avoid accountability.
In the government's fall economic statement, it included amendments to repeal sections 3 to 5 of the Cap and Trade Cancellation Act, which aims to get rid of requirements of establishing emissions reduction targets, a climate change plan, and minister progress reports.
I'm here because the court has already found that Ontario's 2030 climate target was inadequate. Instead of fixing it, the Ford government tried to run away from its responsibility entirely by removing the law that requiring them to set targets at all. If the courts have said that this government needs to do more, we believe they should not be allowed to get away with doing less.
CTV News reached out to the Premier's office for comment and received a statement which says, in part, in the face of economic uncertainty, with President Trump taking direct aim at our economy, our government is taking a hard look at the unnecessary processes that have held us back and putting forward big and bold ideas to build an economy that is more competitive and resilient.
It's in line with their record for placing the economy above the very ecosystems that support life. So this new development has as well strengthened my resolve and made me grateful that we are taking action to hold the government accountable in court for their obligation and their responsibility to protect the lands and waters, and in turn the very people and generations that they're supposed to serve.
Thompson says since the December 1st hearing has been adjourned, both parties are working on next steps. He says his team will be proposing a schedule to get back before the courts as soon as possible. And he strongly believes that this latest attempt to have the case thrown out by the Ford government will not work. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
And in Sudbury today marked the official start of the Festive Reduce Impaired Driving Everywhere, known as the RIDE campaign. More now from CTV's Alan Everson.
This officer is administering a mandatory alcohol screening device at this festive ride check. the driver passes. The Festive RIDE campaign is now underway across the province.
In Sudbury, unfortunately, we have about on an average of one impaired driver arrested per day. That's kind of our average. That's daytime or nighttime. So you're going to see us out during the daytime. You're going to see us out at nighttime. We have increased patrols throughout the festive season. It's a little bit busier this time of year, so you're going to see us out there. So be prepared.
Kim Hancock was at the ride check, passing out bookmarks and red ribbons. Her teen son DJ was killed in a crash involving a drunk driver.
Don't change anybody's life forever. It's not worth it. You know, there's lots of options out there, and just remember DJ if you think about getting into your car and driving.
The police are telling drivers they have several choices when they choose to drink or use drugs. Safe Ride Home Sudbury starts this Friday, running through until New Year's Eve.
We'll drive you and your vehicle home by a team of volunteers, and you'll arrive home safely. It's a free service, but we do rely on donations.
The ride service to keep impaired drivers off the road needs volunteers right now. Greater Sudbury Police say the community should expect festive ride checks anytime, anywhere. Last holiday season, 3,243 drivers were checked. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
People in Timmins and area are dealing with the first winter storm of the season. The wintry weather forcing road closures and warnings from Environment Canada. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
The first winter storm this fall has Timmins and the surrounding region at its mercy. Environment Canada is predicting 30 to 60 centimeters of snow to fall between Wednesday and Friday. Ontario Provincial Police closed several highways Wednesday morning, including Highway 11 between Kapuskasing and Cochrane, Highway 655 between Driftwood and Kidd Creek Mine Road, and Highway 144 between Timmins and the Gogama area.
We're getting a high volume of snow in addition to high winds, and it's affecting a large area of our region in the Cochrane, Kapuskasing, Timmins, and now towards Hornpain and White River as well. It's creating very hazardous conditions on the highway.
Police advise people to avoid all non-essential travel.
Driving on a closed highway is an offense that will fetch a ticket and a fine, and the possibility that if you get in a collision while driving on a closed highway, that insurance might not cover that.
Officials say the best place for updates on highway conditions is the Ontario 511 website. Environment Canada also asks people to take note of the new weather alerts it's implementing as of today. Gerald Chang is a warning preparedness meteorologist and says the colors yellow, orange, and red indicate the weather's risk level. Chang says this method is recommended by the World Meteorological Organization and used by many other countries.
And for them, it's very effective in communicating risks to the population, risks from weather hazards, and that's why we are implementing it. It just so happens that we are right on time for this winter storm, and so we hope that the color-coded weather alerts will allow the public to understand better their risk from this winter storm.
Timmins and the Cochrane district currently falls under an orange warning. Environment Canada plans to release a seasonal forecast within the next few weeks, but says Timmins should expect more weather like this over the next 4 months, with maybe some mild temperatures in the middle. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
So let's talk about that storm and who's getting what. Let's bring in the man with the answers. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Tony, you have to admit that the sledders will love this weekend. They're going to have a great base already in Timmins, and of course they'll have all that snow to play around with. Our systems map, this is what it looks like right now in the area. More to the north, lots of snow to the south, that rainfall, and of course it's all going to linger around for at least another day or so. So more snow right across the northeast for tomorrow. We'll get rid of the rain, but another form of precipitation. So we'll talk about that during the 7-day forecast as well. Our current conditions, we've got some rain going on, we've got some snow going on, and the temperatures, well, they are getting colder. Tony, back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Going up, still to come on CTV News at 6. Water and wastewater rates are on the rise in the city of Timmins, but By how much? But first, we're taking a live webcam look at downtown Timmins. This shot is courtesy of the city. It's snowing, and as you just heard, more is on the way. We'll be right back.
Ready to run with the pack? The Sudbury Wolves take on the Sarnia Sting Friday, December the 5th, and you could be in the stands. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to cheer on your favorite team. So, what are you waiting for? Enter now at CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca and get ready to howl.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in the mayor's chair is Mayor Giselle Pageau from the municipality of French River. Mayor Pageau, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, these are words I don't think I've ever had to say to you, and we've done many interviews. We know each other quite well. I want to talk garbage. Specifically, there's been some recent changes in the municipality when it comes to garbage. Update everyone. What can you tell us?
Well, about a year ago, we had to find a new system to accommodate our waste. Our landfill is getting full, and so we've made applications to the ministry for an expansion, which it looks like it's coming. So that will bring some life into our landfill. And then there was a big discussion about our bins. Some of the bins, people are not very good at putting their garbage in the bin. I guess it's too hard to lift the lid and put it in. And we've been having problems with people leaving like mattresses, putting propane tanks in the bin. So we've decided to limit the number of transfer sites. So there'll be 3 transfer sites. There'll be one in Alban, one in Noelville, and one on Shaw Road. And they will be monitored either in person or by camera. And those not abiding by the rules will find themselves with a hefty fine.
That's good to know for sure, especially about the landfill. Absolutely. Well, I know there's been a lot of talk in the last year or two that we've also chatted about the fate of the Noelville OPP detachment. I know you meet regularly with the police force and other mayors in the Sudbury East region. What can you tell us? Is there any update?
Things are going very well, actually, with the OPP. It's status quo. The detachment is not closing. One of the decisions that facilities will have to decide is whether they get a new facility or a new building or whether they renovate. But our OPP officers are staying exactly where they're supposed to be, and that's in the Sudbury East detachment, which is located in Noelville.
That's good news for sure. Now, I know you work hand in hand. You're a volunteer with the French River Food Bank, and French River is one of the very few communities in our region that's getting a visit from the holiday train. That's got to be exciting, particularly considering who it benefits.
Absolutely. It's been about 15 years that the train has stopped in Alban, right at the railroad tracks. And part of the celebration is not just getting great entertainment, Canadian entertainment, but also it's a venue for us to collect non-perishable canning for our families in needs through the Christmas Basket Kit group and the food bank, and also some cash. And we expect about 500 or 550 people to attend the holiday train. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it in person, you get really close, and it's wonderful.
Well, I will be there for sure, checking it out. I'm down to 15 seconds, but any big other events on the radar coming up for French River?
Well, the volunteer firefighters are doing a toy collection on Saturday. There's a big art and craft show coming up also on Saturday. And we have our Christmas lighting ceremony on December 5th. So we hope to see you. And there's, of course, a drive-by parade that's occurring on December 13th.
That's going to be a busy, busy time for those in French River. Mayor Pageau, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. That's Mayor Giselle Pageau from French River.
Thanks for that, Ian. Timmins City Council has approved its water and wastewater budget for next year. The budget includes a 5.53% increase, which includes a 1% capital levy in the city's 10-year financial plan. This represents an $82.61 increase for the average 5-room house. The capital levy funds will be used to support projects, including the 2-year Tisdale Reservoir replacement project. Despite growing health pressures, Public Health Sudbury Districts has achieved sustainability within what it calls a precarious fiscal environment. The board for the health unit covering Sudbury and Manitoulin approved its 2026 operating budget at $32 million, but says it took a lot of hard work to get there. 3/4 of funding for public health agencies across Ontario is supposed to come from the province, but the board says that's not happening. Combined with growing health needs like substance and mental health issues, Public Health says it creates a challenging situation to work out its budget. Public Health Sudbury Districts was able to avoid major changes in programming, but it did have to reallocate staff to address current needs.
We had to take some hard looks of where were we able to find some savings. So that included reorienting some of our work to maybe be a little bit less resource intensive. It also looked at where can we take a little bit more risk in our budget, not having maybe as much buffer room around some of our budget lines and really trying to cut things a little bit closer. By doing that, we were able to free up enough funding that we were able to keep the ask for the levy increase somewhat manageable.
Dr. Hergy says the health unit wants to set itself up to create efficiencies in the future, is investing $2.4 million toward technology to do that, including artificial intelligence. A motion at North Bay City Council last night for an independent third-party external review into the actions surrounding the mayor's expenses has been defeated. Moved by Councillor Tanya Vraybosch, this was about the process and how City Hall dealt with the matter. Other councillors, however, disagreed, preferring to leave this in the hands of the Integrity Commissioner. The motion was defeated 8-2, and with some around the table saying they are ready to turn the page.
Who authorized what, who approved which expenses, who knew what and when? I question how continuing to revisit this will benefit the City of North Bay. The debt has been repaid, penalties have been issued, and the Integrity Commissioner has completed his work.
I will tell the citizens of North Bay, this is literally the last thing that I can do along with Councillor Lowry to say that we've done all we can to get council to look at this in a serious light.
Mayor Peter Chirico has publicly said he would not resign. He added he will continue efforts to create economic development and getting new flights to come to the Gateway City. And the City of North Bay is taking over operations of the Brewman Community Dog Park at Champlain Park next week. For a decade, the North Bay and District Humane Society was in charge of maintenance and operation of the dog park under a lease agreement with the city. The Humane Society is choosing to focus on animal care, sheltering, and welfare services. The park will continue to operate as an off-leash facility with designated areas for large and small dogs. The City of North Bay will take over November 30th. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Well, the snow is still here, Tony. That hasn't left the area. So again, it continues into this evening. We'll get into some of the numbers that some of the areas can expect, including some of the overnight conditions as well. Forecast radar hovering over the northeast, much to the chagrin of a lot of people, and rain in the south, which is about to end. We'll get some flurries and snow in the forecast for tomorrow. But first, we have our current weather conditions right now. In Moosonee, it's -8. Light precipitation. Cochrane, some light snowfall, -5. Timmins as well, -4. Light snowfall. Kapuskasing, some light snowfall at -10. Chapleau, -6. Wawa, -9. And Sault Ste. Marie, no precipitation as yet in the last 15-20 minutes from whence I inserted these numbers, so we're holding steady at 0. -2, Perry Sound. Moving on over to North Bay, Temiskaming Shores, and Kirkland Lake. Some light precipitation there as well. North Bay holding steady. 0 in Greater Sudbury, 1 in Espanola, Elliott Lake 0, Gore Bay some rain at -1. 7-day forecast, Tony, and the pick of the day coming from Sault Ste. Marie a little bit later on. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Rick. A slate of new measures still to come on CTV News at 6. The Prime Minister announces new support for the steel and lumber industries. And we are getting new data on the health of Ontario's economy. The Prime Minister today announced an economic lifeline for Canada's steel industry. It's dealing with 50% import tariffs to the U.S. that have pushed the sector to the brink. CTV's Judy Trin reports from Ottawa.
After enduring half a year of Donald Trump's 50% tariffs, Canada's steel industry is teetering on the edge.
Our order books are not being filled up at this moment because nobody's investing. It's such a real perilous time.
We must protect our workers and our industries who are most exposed to U.S. tariffs.
The Liberal government is introducing new measures to reduce the amount of foreign steel. The countries that Canada does not have a free trade agreement with will face lower quotas. Steel from countries like China, Taiwan, India, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates will now be limited to 20% of what they sold to Canada in 2024. The government estimates that could boost domestic steel sales by $850 million. Other countries with free trade agreements will be capped at 75% of what they sold last year. But U.S. imports won't be capped. But all American steel products will continue to face 25% tariffs.
This government will do whatever it takes to protect our sectors and not just protect them, but to help them reposition for the new global economy.
The government will also subsidize the cost of transporting steel and lumber by rail across the country. Internationally, when it comes to big defense procurements like submarines, Canada will continue making Buy Canadian a requirement.
We will absolutely make sure that there are steel and aluminum and sometimes, depending, lumber requirements, because we need to protect jobs in these tariff sectors.
Those were the carrots, but there's also a stick. The government announced it will end remissions or refunds for Canadian companies impacted by U.S. tariffs by January 31st. Mark Carney also said that he spoke with President Trump last night and that he will be headed to Washington next week as part of FIFA World Cup events. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ontario's Financial Accountability Office has released its latest data on the province's economy. CTV's Siobhan Morris takes a closer look at the numbers.
There's the government bluster.
We continue to be a manufacturing powerhouse.
Numbers from Ontario's Financial Accountability Office tell a different story.
Autos has been down an awful lot. Same with steel production.
Machinery, too. The budget watchdog says you have to go back to 2015 to find lower manufacturing activity. Almost 21,000 jobs lost in 2 years.
Pintos and Mavericks, and they sell well.
Manufacturing jobs now make up the smallest share of Ontario's employment since 1976.
1976, I was putting Sean Cassidy posters on my wall in 1976.
U.S. tariffs are hitting hard, but so is upheaval in the auto industry with retooling and shifting EV priorities.
This premier is a jobs disaster.
A label the government rejects.
We have more manufacturing jobs than Florida and New York, and are third only in all of North America to California and Texas.
Under the cloud of tariffs, the FAO says Ontario's GDP shrank by 0.6% in the second quarter.
The largest since the 2008-2009 recession, excluding the pandemic.
Almost 29% of those who are unemployed have been unable to find work for at least 27 weeks.
That's the highest number we have since the 1990s. So that's just an indication of the difficulties folks are having in the job market right now.
Opposition parties say it's a problem the government doesn't seem to have a real solution for.
They like to put something in the window that looks great, but what actually happens inside doesn't really work.
The Green leader holds up Ontario's approach to EVs as an example.
They brought in a plan to produce more electric vehicles, but then they canceled all the programs to make electric vehicles actually affordable.
The finance minister trumpets $30 billion of tariff support.
Just this quarter, $2 billion of WSIB rebates are flowing into small business, medium-sized businesses.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Also at Queen's Park today, New Democrat MPP for Mushkegowuk James Bay introduced his second private member's bill regarding road safety. Guy Bourgoin proposed the bill called Chad's Law, which would make passing on double solid lines illegal in Ontario. This form of highway passing is already illegal in every other province in Canada, according to Bourgoin. He also says that Northern Ontario drivers are 4 times more likely to die in a vehicle crash than Southern Ontario drivers.
We need to have very clear rules of the road so that those drivers don't take those risks, and that people are not put at risk of a head-on collision. It seems very obvious. Why do we not have the same standard across the whole country?
The industry is scared too. In 2024, Ontario Trucker Association survey of 600 drivers. The top concern about driving on Northern Ontario was unsafe passing by other vehicles. Chad Law proposed to clearly state that passing on a double solid line is illegal. It establishes a $400 fine for the offense.
Bourgoin is calling on the 5 progressive Conservative MPPs in Northern Ontario to assist in passing this private member's bill to prevent death, increase road safety, and reduce road closures. Meanwhile, the Minister of Education was talking about the Near North District School Board again today. While speaking to the media, Paul Calandra said he would be making an announcement on the board very soon. The minister has been threatening to step in following a ministry review earlier this month. Parry Sound Council recently passed a motion requesting Calandra allow the town to leave the board and create its own or join another nearby school board. Calandra said he's received a lot of feedback from community members as well as MPPs in the area.
The amount of letters and anger and frustration that we're getting from that community is the only comparison I have is it was Ottawa prior to the takeover. I mean, Parry Sound is much smaller, frankly, but the Near North Board is much smaller, but they're getting close. They're getting close in terms of anger and frustration.
Representatives from the school board are set to meet with Parry Sound Town Council next Thursday, but Calandra told reporters he doesn't see anything short of a Christmas miracle changing his mind on what he believes needs to be done. A Sudbury-based construction company is entitled to $14 million in compensation, according to a Superior Court judge. Bott Construction was contracted by the Ministry of Transportation to blast rock for the 4-laning of Highway 69 between Sudbury and Parry Sound. The company says it ended up dealing with 80,000 cubic meters of extra rock for which it wasn't compensated. Ultimately, the court found the original contract did not estimate the amount of blasted rock required. For more on this story, visit our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Lots of snow, Tony. Lots of snow in the northeast and spreading its wings around the entire northeast, beginning this evening and continuing overnight. Have a look, forecast radar, that system, of course, in the northeast, the snow in the north, rain to the south, but that's changing. It's going to be predominantly snow right across the northeast, beginning this evening, overnight, and continuing for tomorrow. Let's have a look at some of the conditions overnight. 5 centimeters of snow, Greater Sudbury. In the Sioux, 2 to 4, 10 to 15 in Timmins. Temiskaming Shores, 2 to 4, and 5 centimeters in North Bay. The snow is here. 10 to 15 in Moosonee, Kapuskasing 15 centimeters, Wawa 5 to 10 centimeters, Gore Bay 2 centimeters as well, and 5 centimeters in Parry Sound. 7-day numbers, Sudbury Nickel Belt 2 to 4 centimeters for tomorrow and a few centimeters at night. -3 your high, chance of flurries Friday, cloud cover Saturday, flurries on Sunday, sun and cloud Monday at -8, and Tuesday chance of flurries at -7. How about Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma? Snow squalls tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters during the day. More tomorrow evening. Friday, chance of flurries. Saturday, more of the same. Chance of flurries Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. Starting to get colder at the start of next week as well on Monday. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, snow tomorrow, 10 centimeters, then 5 to 10 centimeters by tomorrow evening. Now tonight, 10 to 15 centimeters in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Friday, chance of flurries. Saturday, some cloud cover. Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, sun and cloud, and Tuesday, chance of flurries once again. But take a look at the evening temperatures here. You range from -13, -15, -17, -19, all the way up or down to -22 by next week. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow tomorrow, 2 centimeters tomorrow evening. Friday, chance of flurries. Saturday, some sun and cloud. Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, some sun and cloud, and the chance of flurries at 40% come next Tuesday. And again, those colder temperatures, -9, -13, -15, even -18. Now, North Bay, West Nipissing, 2 to 4 centimeters tomorrow, 2 centimeters of snow tomorrow evening, chance of flurries on Friday, sun and cloud Saturday, flurries on Sunday, Monday sun and cloud, chance of flurries on Tuesday at 40%, and those temperatures at night, -6, -10, -11. Just starting to pick up. This is going to be typical December weather as it turns colder with lots of snow. How about that pick of the day, boys? Let's see what we got. This is Karen DeVoe. The calm before the storm, Gooley Bay, Lake Superior, the calming effect before the wind started to pick up. And Karen managed to check out the ship nestled in the harbor to get away from those winds, as you saw just moments ago. Stick around. Tony has more news coming up after the break.
As the holiday travel season approaches, excitement builds, and so should your travel protection. Whether you're taking a quick winter getaway or planning a big family vacation, travel insurance is one of the smartest ways to safeguard your plans. But even seasoned travelers make avoidable mistakes that can lead to denied claims or unexpected costs. Here are the top 5 travel insurance missteps and how to steer clear of them on my CAA Tip of the Month. Waiting too long to buy. Many travelers wait until days before departure to purchase their insurance, but by then, you're missing out on key protections. Tip: buy travel insurance right after booking your trip to maximize your coverage. Purchasing within 72 hours may qualify you for canceling for any other reason protection. Relying on credit card or employer plans to cover everything. While some credit cards offer travel insurance, benefits like emergency medical, trip cancellation, or lost baggage, coverage varies widely and sometimes requires paid add-ons. Tip: always read the policy booklet or call to confirm what's actually covered. Don't assume your card or workplace plan includes everything you need. Not disclosing health changes or pre-existing conditions. Even minor health updates, like a new prescription or a doctor visit, can affect claim eligibility. Tip: if your health changes before your trip, notify your insurer right away. Transparency ensures your coverage remains valid. And when in doubt, ask. Ignoring domestic travel insurance. Traveling within Canada doesn't mean you're fully covered. Out-of-province medical services and emergency transportation often are not included in your provincial health plan. Tip: consider travel insurance for domestic trips, especially when visiting remote locations where medical transport can be costly. Assuming one policy fits all, and every traveler's needs are different. For frequent travelers, if you take more than one trip a year, a multi-trip plan can save you money and offer year-round peace of mind. Ideal for snowbirds, spontaneous weekend travelers, or families on the go. For adventure seekers, planning activities like parasailing, hot air ballooning, or helicopter tours, standard policies may not cover high-risk excursions. Add-on riders can provide the protection you need. Always review your itinerary with the CAA travel consultants. Ensuring you're fully covered helps protect both your trip and your peace of mind. CAA Travel Insurance offers comprehensive coverage beyond what's typically provided by group plans or credit cards. Plus, CAA members save up to 20% on their policy. Travel smarter, feel safer by making sure you are protected throughout your travels. And that is my CAA Tip of the Month.
Temperatures are dropping, and if you're someone who uses winter tires, you'll need them soon. Insurance companies offer discounts to drivers who use winter tires, but there is some confusion over which ones are eligible for reduced premiums. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
It's the busiest time of the year for tire shops as many drivers switch over their all-season or summer tires to winter tires. There is also a new type of tire growing in popularity called an all-weather tire. It's a hybrid which has the attributes of an all-season and a winter tire in one tire. You can leave them on your car all year long.
They can be driven on year-round, but they have enhanced snow traction, and they've become popular because then now you don't have to switch between your all-seasons and your dedicated winter tires.
When it comes to winter driving in the tire business, all-season tires are considered good, all-weather tires better, and dedicated winter tires the best. Most all-weather tires come with a snowflake in the mountain symbol, leading to confusion over exactly what a winter tire is. This vehicle has a brand new set of all-weather tires. They even have the snowflake in the mountain symbol. But depending on your insurance company, some will give you the winter tire discount and some won't.
They're not the same level that snow tires are.
Aviva Canada gives a 2% discount for dedicated winter tires, but not for all-weather tires.
We only provide the discount specifically for the snow tires, the winter tires, not the kind of all-weather tires that you're speaking of.
CAA says under its guidelines, all-weather tires are eligible for their 5% discount. A spokesperson said if all-weather tires are marked with the three-peak mountain snowflake symbol and you have 4 installed on your vehicle, they qualify for the winter tire discount. When Ontario brought in the discount rules 10 years ago, it said look for tires marked with a logo of a peaked mountain with a snowflake. The Tire and Rubber Association of Canada told CTV News this would be for the insurance companies to comment how they recognize winter tires. If you have all-weather tires, you should check with your insurance company. You don't want to say you have winter tires if you don't, because in the event of an accident, it could void your claim. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A $50 million gift from a philanthropist will create the world's largest research center focusing on early cancer detection. We get the details from CTV's Pauline Chan.
Donor Peter Gilgan helps flip a switch to light up a sign for the new research center that will be a world leader. The Mattamy Homes founder says he lost a brother to cancer, but he believes this is the turning point in the battle against the disease.
So we're gonna launch some rockets at cancer that just weren't around even a decade ago, and that's why I think that it's a great time to make the investment in cancer research, because I think we're going to have a great return from it.
Dr. Raymond Kim says we've known for decades that early detection is the key to survival, and that is why the new program will focus on detecting and treating cancer in its early stages. One new technique involves analyzing the blood.
This technology is so sophisticated that by using certain analytical methods that's called epigenetics, we can figure out where in the body that these bits of DNA are coming from. And by using this technology, such as liquid biopsy, we can find their cancer earlier and intercept it even quicker.
Luana Locke lost her sister, her mother, and was diagnosed with breast cancer herself before learning her family had Li-Fraumeni syndrome, a genetic condition that vastly increases your chances of developing cancer.
It has meant loss and devastation, and as cliche as it sounds, empty seats at a dinner table, but a lot of empty seats.
But research into early detection at Princess Margaret has changed her interpretation of the word cancer.
It still knocks the wind out of you, but very quickly now we're able to pick ourselves up and turn that into a fight.
I had a 9-centimeter cyst on my left ovary.
Olympic ice dancer Piper Gillis was diagnosed with stage 1 ovarian cancer while competing in 2022. She was treated, and today she is still on the ice preparing again for the Olympics.
Right now, 90% of cancers are curable if they're caught early. That's a big percentage.
The Peter Gilgan Center for Early Cancer Detection Research will be based here at the hospital, with many top researchers still to be hired. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
With Christmas less than 1 month away, still ahead on CTV News at 6, a committee in North Bay is looking for volunteers to help prepare a hot meal for those who are homeless, lonely, or just looking to spend some time together. Weigh and Take on Manitoulin Island has officially opened its foundation to support learners with Anishinaabe worldviews. The over 3-decade-old learning institution is also taking time to celebrate its accreditation for the Indigenous Studies programs, plus celebrating an Anishinaabe place of learning.
Attawapiskat Foundation, the new charitable organization that will be supporting Weigh and Take, will help to enable them to fund programs that aren't currently funded, to help our learners to incorporate or learn about our culture.
Weigh and Take
I don't think cannot be compared to any, mainstream university and college that we have around us, because their efforts come from that resiliency. Their efforts come from that care and compassion.
It's our time. We're ready to do this work. We just want more and more people to come on board and be part of our success. That's all really tonight is about, is celebrating that success and really believing that we can do it.
Officials say the learning institution is important for reconciliation and helps keep the language and culture strong. There were proclamations yesterday to mark the International Day Against Gender-Based Violence across the North, including in the city of Elliott Lake. Mayor Andrew Wanan raised the purple flag outside of City Hall on Tuesday. In his address, he urged all citizens to recognize the day by taking action. The annual Christmas Day meal in North Bay is next month, and the committee that puts the meal together is looking for more volunteers. The Christmas Day lunch is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. Volunteers prepare turkey meals for anyone homeless or lonely and in need of holiday cheer and a warm meal. Volunteers are needed on December 23rd to peel vegetables and to help on Christmas Day. The food is prepared at the Davidi Club, and the meal will be at the Pro Cathedral Church between 11:30 and 1.
It's the spark in their eyes with the music and the gifts and the food and the ambiance that's at the room. Like you can't not smile. It's happiness. It's pure happiness. And you know that you've given some people that don't get that very often in their life.
Last year, 450 sit-down lunches were provided and 500 takeout meals were also handed out. The top of the NOJHL standings are tight and every point mattered last night as the Timmins Rock played host to the Espanola Paper Kings. It was the Rock, however, that would pull out the win. Timmins would get on the board early and carry that momentum for the full 60 minutes, beating the Paper Kings 6-2. Brent Romagnac of the Timmins Rock tallied 2 points last night with a goal and an assist. He was also named to the Canada East Junior A World Challenge team yesterday. He will head to Trois-Rivières, Quebec next month as the only player from the NOJHL. The Timmins-born 18-year-old is tied for second place in league scoring with 21 goals. Glen Powell's star continues to rise, and a Bob Ross painting was sold at auction for a happy little penny. David Daniel has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
So we have this actual Bob Ross original.
Public media stations are feeling the joy of painting. This Bob Ross artwork went for more than $1 million in John Oliver and Last Week Tonight's auction benefiting public media. In all, the auction raised more than $1.5 million for stations facing the loss of federal funding.
Really exciting.
Scarlett Johansson is set to star in the next Exorcist movie. The new feature from Blumhouse and Universal reportedly will not be a remake or a sequel, but will be set in the Exorcist universe.
There were 7 of them. 7 rich pricks. Between myself and $28 billion.
Glen Powell prunes a few branches of his family tree to reclaim his inheritance in How to Make a Killing. The supporting cast includes Ed Harris and Margaret Qualley. The darkly comedic thriller hits theaters February 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Holiday shopping season is here, and that could pack a punch for your wallet. Equifax says credit card balances are expected to peak in December, with missed payments already on the rise as we head into the holidays. The agency says 1.45 million Canadian consumers missed a credit payment in the last financial quarter. That's up by 40,000 people from the previous quarter. And the report found delinquencies are among younger consumers and those in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. Apple is about to become the world's largest smartphone maker. It hasn't held that title for more than a decade. BNN Bloomberg's Marela Fernandez has more on that.
Apple's new iPhone 17 is propelling the company to regain that title and beat Samsung for the first time since 2011. The 17 is being snapped up by consumers in the U.S. and China, 2 key markets. Apple will ship around 243 million iPhones this year. Samsung, about 235 million. This is coming from Counterpoint Research. It means Apple will end up with just over 19% of the smartphone market, Samsung just over 18.5%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.23. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.65. Western Canadian Select is down to 45.34. And the TSX gained another 279 points today for another record close, moving over 31,000 for the first time. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $29.78, closing the day at $41.63.89 U.S. an ounce. Silver up $1.93 to end the day at $53.35. Copper moved forward 7 cents to $4.96. A nickel slipped 2 cents, ending the day at $6.60 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, Tony, but let's check out the conditions for tomorrow. First of all, 2 to 4 centimeters in Greater Sudbury, -3, 10 centimeters in Timmins during the day, 10 to 15 tomorrow night. Sault Ste. Marie -1. Some squalls, 5 to 10 centimeters and more in the evening as well. Meanwhile, in North Bay, a couple of centimeters there, -3. 5 centimeters Parry Sound at 0, and 2 to 4 in Temiskaming Shores at -3. Lots of snow, Tony. Back to you.
Yes, keep those snow shovels and snow blowers handy. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.